Hello, my name is Caleb Taylor, and this is Tough Tulsa Time. How much do you know about history? Just enough to get that A in that class, right? Or to finally graduate. That seems about right. You only learn what you need to learn. Let me ask you something. Everything you're learning 100% true? I mean, you've heard the quote before, right? From Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. History is written by the winners, and the winners write history. Well, when you put it like that would imply that there's certain pieces of history that's left out to make the winners look good. You don't believe me? Take a look at Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. It's a tragedy that happened there. You don't know about Tulsa in 1921? Well, let's learn about it together. Here's 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and people are thriving. One reason why they're thriving, because they had oil, and they were the self-proclaimed oil capital of the world. Another reason why Tulsa, Oklahoma was thriving is because in the Greenwood district, it was home to the black community. And the black community was prosperous. They had businesses galore, and their businesses circulated money from one business to another business to another business to someone's pocket to another business. That community was so wealthy, it was a self-anointed Black Wall Street. Yes, Tulsa, Oklahoma seemed like the place to be. But it was also during 1921 America. And as you've learned, that's when segregation and discrimination was still a thing. So, what's the outcome of Black Wall Street? Well, May 31st to June 1st, Black Wall Street burned down. Why? Well, that's because a young African American male was accused of assaulting a white woman. And when the white population of Tulsa, Oklahoma heard about it, they decided to enact justice. And when the black population heard about it, they knew that he was falsely accused. And so they tried defending the man. But that just made the white population think that there was going to be an uprising from the black community. In fact, the New York Times state that it was a false belief that the black population was trying to overthrow the white population in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that's why the white population was deputized to enact their justice, not only on him, but on the black community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So Tulsa, Oklahoma burned. Black Wall Street burned down to the ground. Approximately 300 people died. People put out of their houses by the thousands. Businesses never recovered. And just to find out, the young man that was accused was proven innocent. The worst he probably did was step on a young lady's toes. But, that did happen, and that's in the records, right? Well, there was getting no news coverage from it. All right, maybe people didn't want to know about it, but it'll still be written down in the records, right? No, not after a week, not after a month, not after a year, not after 2 years, not after 10 years, not after 50 years. There was nothing in the records about this. In fact, according to the Tulsa Race Massacre page on Britannica, this event wasn't even published in the history books, not even Tulsa's own history books where this happened. So, there's no records of this. Written records, at least. It's not in the history books, so people aren't learning about it. Did this actually happen? Well, thanks to historians and scholars and the Tulsa Race Riot Commission, they were able to uncover the truth. By talking to the survivors, the Tulsa Race Riot Commission was able to put together a report detailing exactly what happened, showing that approximately 300 people died. Because beforehand, although there was no record, the quote-unquote death total of that day was 36. And 300 is about 10 times larger than 36. So that happened. But why was this covered up? And why did it nearly take a century for this information to come out? That's the real question. But not only did it come out, the event was played for people over mass media. The show Watchmen detailed the Tulsa race riot massacre. The first 10 minutes of the first episode. Once again, according to the New York Times, people from Tulsa thought that that event was fictitious when they saw it. Sad. They weren't taught about it in the history books. And there were no records for anyone to look at it. So what's going on here? Now that you see that event that unfolded, how an event happened, there was a huge cover-up, and then people worked hard to uncover the truth. What now? What are we going to do now to make sure that this doesn't happen again? People have already put this in mass media with Watchmen and the song by Three Penny Acres, Tulsa 1921. But what are we going to do to ensure that this never happens again?